Welcome to The Hot Slice, a podcast brought to you by Pizza Today. I am creative director Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor of Pizza Today, Miss Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hello, Josh. You like, yeah, my
We've been doing this
voice.
intro a long time now, feels
I
like.
know. I always want to change it up, but I have no versatility in my intro skills.
People expect that intro. That's
like,
what, it would throw them off if we did anything other than that. So that's what we have to do. But anyway, awesome. You and I just actually got to spend some time together.
Yes, recently. We did. We actually got to see each other in person.
Yeah, we kind of traveled together. We took separate flights, but we just visited our 2023 Pizzeria of the Year. We're not going to tell you on here what it is. You'll be finding out in just a couple days. But it was a great honor, great privilege to be there, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so good, and I can tell you that Josh and I ate more pizza than we have at any other pizza visit, I think, with this. Yeah. I mean, we just kept eating it because it was so good. So, and in fact, my mouth is watering just thinking.
I had just finished photographing it, and we just stood there and just kept eating it, like just.
I know, right?
I'm just another slice, just another slice,
just another one. Yeah. So very excited about it. The story was really good. That I feel like it just lets you guys know the writer's mind when we go in and cover y'all is that, man, I just want to get it right, and I want to tell a story that the general publications aren't telling, because it's for pizzeria operators, so we want to make sure that we're telling a story that you can learn from and that you can grow from. So I hope that I was able to do that in this story.
We want to dive a little deeper, get below the surface there, and give you some more than just a photo of a pizza and then that's it. So we love to get kitchen photos. We love to get in there and do all that stuff. So it's so much fun. It's definitely the highlight of the job. And I love doing it. So anyway.
I was going to say, one of my favorite things is always after I have a conversation with the operator, either it's while they're making pizzas in the back or we're sitting down eating. And it is my favorite time visiting pizzerias because the tape recorder's off. Yeah. And I can actually ask them specifically about, pain points and what's really an aggravation and what's their frustrations and things that they may not say, on the record, but I can get that information so we can come back and come up with story ideas to address those concerns. That's my favorite thing.
I've seen a Denise list after a pizzeria visit of all the story ideas that she gets. It's so important that we visit those pizzerias because
absolutely
so many ideas from just talking kind of off the record with an operator and owner. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it, getting inside of the pizzerias and just experiencing them. All right. Well, we have not been to the pizzeria of our guest on today's show, but that's partially because he's new. He's a new operator. So I'll give you a little backstory. So I had talked to Anthony Petralia back when I did a story on ghost kitchens. He had gotten a little bit of press for having a really good ghost kitchen. But today he no longer has a ghost kitchen. He has a full-on brick and mortar operation with 20 seats, takeout and third-party delivery. So congrats to him for going into the brick and mortar space.
Yeah, we get into the evolution of from the ghost kitchen to the brick and mortar and what all that took and kind of see where he's going now. And it was really great to chat with him. And I think he's got a bright future in this business.
I think he does too. And I'm excited for him to keep us posted on it. But I think we should just dive in because we talk about Detroit pizza. We talk about just how he's got things going and what he's going to do moving forward. There's also a discussion in there, which I'm gonna sneak peek and tell you guys about, but butter crusts. Just keep that in your brain. Butter crusts.
All right. On with the show.
With extraordinary pizza cheese comes extraordinary rewards. Only Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese offers the Gold Club Rewards program with monthly cash back on every cheese purchase. Members also receive funds twice a year to use in their exclusive marketing store. It's their way of saying grazie to customers. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice and discover how rewarding Baccio exceptional Italian pizza cheese can be. Pizza is your legacy. Build it with Baccio. Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Hey, Anthony, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Man, so Anthony, you and I had connected on a story I wrote a while back ago about ghost kitchens. Before we talk about what you've done recently, let's talk about, like, real quick, how you got into the business with the ghost kitchen.
Yeah, so I've been a chef by trade. I've been working in kitchens my whole life, and I always had kind of like an entrepreneurial spirit. I always kind of wanted to own my own restaurant. Obviously, money is a big factor, and I don't have a lot of it. So, I've seen people doing like pop-ups and stuff at local bars and stuff like that, and that had started becoming popular, around 2019, 2018. I mean, people have been doing it forever, but it really started getting popular around then. And then especially around when COVID hit, it was kind of a big thing. And that really, I was furloughed for a little bit. So it really just gave me the time and opportunity to really like spend some time figuring out how that would work and getting all the licensing done and everything. And even though, a lot of things were shut down, but so it took a lot longer than it normally would. But I just concepted it. And luckily there's a commissary kitchen right in Sarasota where I was working right down the road from it. And it's really the only one between Tampa and Fort Myers that I'm familiar with. So, and it's something coincidentally, he had opened a separate location specifically because he wanted to do ghost kitchens. There was Guy Fieri came in and he was doing one in town, and it's just so we're a restaurant without really being a restaurant. It's a commissary kitchen, and we did everything online, pre-orders only, curbside pickup only, and that way I was only doing it one day a week to start, so that way I knew going into the weekend how many orders I'd have, so really cut down on food waste and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it all started, and just grew from there.
That's awesome. I think about, because I've talked to a couple people in ghost environments, and they're like, we're never opening a brick and mortar. Like, we don't have to touch customers. We're never opening a brick and mortar. So here you are today.
I can totally understand that. I can totally understand that. Yeah. Well, so, it kind of just, I've always wanted to have an actual brick and mortar restaurant. That's always been my goal. And, so for the first 6 months we were doing it, curbside pickup and stuff was great because everything was kind of closed down, or, social distancing made it really hard for people to go out. But after things started, here in Florida, things started opening up a little sooner than the rest of the country, and people wanted to start getting out and going out again. So really the curbside takeout aspect of it kind of slowed down because people wanted to go out and sit down, have a drink, get something to eat. So at that point I realized I have to figure out a way to get to these people again, so that was when we kind of partnered with some local breweries and some craft beer bars and stuff in the area, and we were doing pop-ups there once a week. So that really helped keep the momentum going. And we did that for about a year and a half, and it's the opportunity came about slowly. The space we were in, and our brick and mortar we're in the location that we started in 3 years ago, which is pretty crazy how that worked out. Yeah. Started with just a 6-foot table and like 2 Breville electric ovens, and slowly just, as we grew kind of organically, we just took more and more space, and then eventually it was like, it's like, right, it's yours, do whatever you want with it. So like, okay, cool. So I, hit the ground running, and Dad and I spent about 2 months in here building everything out, and here we are. So
now, tell me a little bit about the logistics of scaling up to be able to do, a full service restaurant.
Yeah. Well, so, I had a full-time job. I was a culinary director for another company, running other restaurants, and I was doing Australia 1 day a week on my day off. And I just got to a point where it was doing really, really well. And that's where my passion is. That's where my heart is. So I really took a leap of faith and was like, all right, well, whatever I got to do, I'm going to figure it out, so booked 3 days, 4 days, was here at the commissary doing the ghost kitchen thing a couple days a week, just really whatever I had to do. And I was like, I'll figure it out along the way. So, scaling for the most part, I mean, the most difficult thing just been dough production. Just kind of keeping up with, it's a lot different planning for 1 day a week, knowing how many orders you have, into bulking that up to just trying to guess, and then trying to make sure you're not throwing a ton of dough away, but you don't want to run out of dough. So that was one of the hardest things to figure out. And then here in Florida, it's really humid, as I'm sure you know. It's about 95 degrees out right now.
Blowing dough everywhere, eh?
Yeah. So with scaling dough, we do a pretty high hydration dough. So spiral mixer seemed like the best bet for us. But it was about 3 weeks of soupy dough before I got it figured out, because it's just so warm and humid in here that before it would come together, it just fell apart, So, but I figured out some tricks and stuff, and we got to figure it out. So.
At what point did you add Detroit style to your menu, and what kind of spurred that on?
Yeah, so actually, I'd seen it kind of trending in like bigger cities like LA, and I've never been to it. People come in here probably 3 times a week. Like, what part of Detroit you're from? Like, I've never been to Detroit. I just,
Right.
But people from there say it's just as good as Buddy's or whatever, whatever other big name ones are there. But actually, we do like the big kind of crown frico crust, and that was kind of inspired by I think Apollonia in LA had a cover with So I spent probably 6 months trying to figure out how to do that on my own, and it just came down to really just like the type of cheese I was using. But that kind of was a spin off from, we were doing Neapolitan styles only. And then I had this idea, like, I like deep dish Sicilian style pizza, but Detroit's like really different. Nobody was doing that around here.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, I did that 1 night a week then too. I was just like, okay, well, this night's Detroit night, this night's Neapolitan night. And that's kind of how it worked out. And now we don't really do like a full on Neapolitan anymore. We have electric deck ovens. So I kind of had to adjust, my dough, because I didn't want to make 2 separate doughs. So we got it down to where I'm using the same recipe, same dough weight, and the rounds that we're doing now are kind of like a New York Neapolitan hybrid, I guess. So awesome. So it all worked out. Yeah. So still figuring it out, but
I have to ask, because the crown on there, I gotta ask, how in the world do you make that happen so good? Because like on your Instagram, like, it's just beautiful. It's just just topping.
It's a showstopper for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely like for people that come in and they've never seen our Instagram or don't know what Detroit style pizza is, and bringing that out, and they're just like, wow, this is like, they're a little blown away, like, totally not what they expected. So that's always cool to see people's reactions that aren't really familiar with us. But that was just a lot of trial and error, really. And then I came to Pizza Expo. I wasn't able to come this year, but I came last year, and just being around some of the heavy hitters. Apollonia had a booth there. I had Chris Decker's Sicilian, which was like like a coup de grace moment. That was it. So I came back home and just tried really hard to make it more like that, and failed a lot really hard, but I got pretty close.
You fail forward though, right?
Fail forward.
Fail forward. Yeah, fail forward. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So how did you come up with the name for your pizzeria?
So my last name is Petralia. It's Petralia. So so I always wanted it, I didn't want it to be such like a red sauce 80s Italian name like Petralia's,
Yeah.
Italian restaurant. Like I didn't want anything like that. I wanted it to be cool. There's a lot of other restaurants, like, there's a restaurant in DC called Masseria, which, I thought was really cool. Their logo is like a neon thing. So I kind of had the image of what I wanted it to be. But really, as I was kind of thinking, I'm an overthinker. I think everything a million times over up till 4 a.m, just thinking about dumb stuff. But I did remember that my growing up, my grandma and grandpa, anytime she would address my grandfather, she would just, for whatever reason, shorten it to Tralia. She'd be like, "Oh, you ready to go, Tralia?" And I just remembered that. And
Nice.
that's kind of cool too. It's like, when Americanizing Italian names, they used to shorten them, and stuff. So it's kind of I don't know, it's a double entendre, I guess. But
Are you still doing any brewery pop-ups at this point?
Not at this point. We just stopped recently because we're spreading ourselves a little thin, and really just wanted to hone in the concept here and just focus all of our attention here. But I do plan on, because we got really well known for our pastas and stuff too, which we don't really do here, just as a space and staffing constraint. It's like doing pastas is a whole nother animal when you got 20 pizzas going at one time. But so we do plan on doing like pasta nights and stuff like that at maybe one night a week here and there, twice a month or something. So but as far as pizza is concerned, I know we're here now. So
that's awesome. I think about how hard it is to open your first brick and mortar. It's just I mean, it's a feat. What are some of the things like you felt like you did really right, and what are the things that maybe you'll use as kind of a learning lesson as you grow and move forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I did right. I feel like I got the concept and the vibe right. I feel like the location is right. That wasn't really that was just how it just worked out that way. That wasn't by design. But we're located in an area. There's actually a lot of pizza around here. So, people are like, "Oh, another pizza place." Like, yeah, but it's a lot, we're all different and everything. But so I think with the concept and everything, I got that right. It's, we kind of have like a rock and roll vibe. We got like classic rock music videos on a projector screen, kind of just like a fun, cool vibe. And so I think that was right. A lot of things I did wrong. I think spread myself too thin a lot, just trying to do too much at once. Maybe probably making the menu bigger than it should have been at the beginning. And really and I'm kind of now just focusing on just doing what we do well. We do two different style pizzas really well. You get either any of the either like we kind of have the the toppings and stuff are kind of designed a certain way, and you can get any of those in either style. We do a polenta crusted chicken wing, which is pretty awesome, and really just making it like kind of having like a nostalgia vibe. Like I don't want it to be like, if you went to like Pizza Hut in the 90s, like I remember like driving to Pizza Hut and that was awesome back then, but just trying to do it up a level, but still have fun with it. So did wrong. Yeah. So I think the menu was probably a little bigger than it should have been. It was a little staffed a little higher than I should have been. Definitely let's see, the dough, that I guess wasn't fully my fault, but that was definitely a struggle, a learning curve, I guess, but I'm doing wrong things every day and learning from them. So you gotta fail fast, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so your location is inside of like a communal space. Can you tell me about how your location is set up and like what's all involved in that area?
Yeah, so there's so our space is 1,000 square feet. And there's 3 separate spaces. They're all joined by like one door. So we have a sliding door that goes to the middle side. All of our equipment in here is electric. But next in the unit next door, we have a commercial dish machine. We have a range oven, have convection ovens, like really everything you need for like bulk prep stuff, and doing dishes at the end of the night. So we were really able to utilize the full 1,000 square feet. For just saying, we have 20 seats in here, so it's not nothing too crazy, but it gives us room to grow also, So once we're packing out 20 seats and turning them a couple times a night, then we'll be ready for a bigger space. But starting small was definitely key. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking about since you are in that smaller space, your focus. Okay, so you have 20 dine-in seats. Is a lot of your business takeout, or are you doing delivery as well?
Still a lot of takeout. We don't do any in-house. We use a third party. So we Uber Eats and Grubhub, and then our POS we use is Square. So they can order online on our website for delivery, and it dispatches it to an Uber driver, a Postmates driver, or something like that, and they come pick it up. Which I hear like a lot of people are. I feel like most places are doing that now. I even read that Domino's is switching to third party delivery drivers. So
Wow.
so everybody's kind of jumping on the bandwagon, but or it's kind of just kind of how the industry works out. Everybody kind of grows with it, but 20 seats. We don't have our own delivery. We do mostly still at this point, mostly takeout. And again, like I didn't want to really push it too hard. We still just let it grow naturally as we kind of find our niche and figure out how to scale, because sometimes going too big too fast can hurt you even worse. So word of mouth is definitely helping around town. Like I said, we're in a good area with a lot of people. Sarasota is a very seasonal town, but I feel like we're fortunate in the location that we're in, that we have a lot more year-round residents who are in the neighborhood a lot, and spreading the word. And so we're starting to see in-house dining grow, which is good to see. But
and you have beer and wine?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just asking if you have beer and wine there.
If we have what? I'm sorry.
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine? Yeah, we do have beer and wine. I'm just doing cans right now. We have High Noon. We have we do a lot of local craft beers and cans, and then we have some actually really good canned wines that we're doing. Since we don't have, there's no point in having bottles and cracking a bottle open and having it go bad in a few days if nobody else is drinking it. So that for us makes the most sense. We are going to have some get a draft system in here, just like 1 or 2 taps or one of the local breweries here that we're good friends with, just to have that on. But yeah, that's helped out a lot too, because before people they would come in and order, and they would leave. They'd go to a bar while they're waiting on their pizza, and now they're sitting down, chilling, having a drink, watching some music videos, and so that's definitely helped. So. Yeah,
I've always heard in Florida, especially in your area, that like once January to like April gets going, or even May, like business just goes bonkers. Like we have a lot of Florida folks that can't come to the show, can't come to Expo because they can't get away from their shop in March. No,
literally, that's March is one of the hardest times. It's like after New Year's, so it's like somebody flips the switch, and then it's just we're gunning until April, and then things slow down in the summer. Obviously, people go up north to escape the heat, but things start picking back up in October. But also, it's not a bad thing. It gives us a little break. That's when everybody here takes their vacations, too. So a lot of people are transplants, so it's a good time to go back up north or wherever they're from and visit family and stuff. So, but March is a hard time to leave, definitely.
I gotcha. Yeah. Now, as you're, you're finally in your brick and mortar, and and you've got it. You're working on getting things streamlined. Where's your mind at as you're moving forward? Like what's really top of mind with you as you're growing the business and as you're moving forward?
Yeah, just trying to figure out how to scale and not get over. There's a fine line between being overstaffed and understaffed right now. And then just figuring out, making sure we have enough oven space to scale properly. Realistically, I'd like to do a few of these eventually. So it's really just trying to. Right now, my mindset is just getting everything, getting the concept and the brand 100% the way I want it to be, the way I see it in my head, and then just trying to be as profitable as possible, and then figuring out how to scale from there.
I gotcha.
But yeah.
Now, are you, because of the type of environment when you're in, where you have like 3 businesses there within your facility, are you operating different operating hours, or are you on a standard kind of, 10:30 to 9 p.m. kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, the space that we're occupying is just ours. Nobody else works out of here. So that that helps. But as far as the more communal spaces with the commercial equipment and stuff like that, it's like a lot of caterers and stuff that are in and out. But we've all been here a long time, so even if we're all here, we all work together pretty well. And so we have enough equipment where we're not fighting over anything. So that helps. And it's really actually the hardest part is at the end of the night with trying to figure out the dish machine. We're always usually ending up finishing at the same time, so that's probably the hardest part. But we got that figured out. We try and get as much done before service as we can, so that way that once service is over with, we have very minimal. So
you have such a beautiful product, so it makes a splash on Instagram anytime you see it. But what other ways are you doing to market the restaurant right now and get the word out?
Yeah, Instagram's probably the biggest one. Instagram, Facebook. It's I'm kind of letting word of mouth take it right now, and
That's
then
great.
I have and then it's really trying to going back to some of the old school marketing things, like getting flyers printed up and stuff like that, and having them passed out around town. And in the summer too, what's cool about the area that we're in, there's a lot of bars in the area that don't have food. So what I did last summer, and what I'm going to do now that we're that things are slowing down and I can do it again, as I printing out menus with a QR code and dropping them off at bars. That way their patrons, they're staying there. They don't have to leave to go to a restaurant, and it helps us out because they can order right from the QR code from their phone, tells us what bar they're at, and it's 10 feet away, and we'll just deliver it back door to back door or whatever. So that's one thing that we're gonna start doing again now that we got everything situated. So but yeah, that's really about it. Instagram's the biggest one.
That's a fantastic idea. That's a win-win for you and the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
They keep people there drinking, and you get to serve the food. So
exactly.
And,
sure.
I always do that whenever I go anywhere. I go to breweries and I'll order from the QR code, and basically either it'll deliver to me or I'll walk across the parking lot and get it. So it's great.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you what,
we have a good relationship. So
well, I'll end out on this question is, what are you most excited about? What's happening in pizza right now? Like, what are you jonesing for?
Well, one thing I want to start doing is I see butter crust popping up all over the place. I think that has something to do with Tony Falco. Pizzas are. I saw that in there, and now I see like these butter crust pizza spots opening up all over. So it's really what excites me is seeing these small businesses, like Chris Decker and like a lot of these guys that are just making amazing stuff, and just seeing other people push the envelope and just come up with just super creative things that you would never think to put on pizza. There's a guy, Jimmy Hank in Pennsylvania, who does amazing stuff as well. And just seeing the progression of it in general, I think. But yeah, that's the next on my list, is to do the butter crust. I've recipe tested it. It's kind of like, like I said, going back to the whole Pizza Hut thing, when when it was awesome, you go in there and the pan crust pizza was amazing. It was like that's my that's my childhood right there.
Yes.
So
same here.
Just trying to do something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just doing that and trying to make it good.
I think a year ago or 2 years ago at International Pizza Challenge, someone won the traditional division with a butter crust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember it clear as day, but I cannot remember who won it. But I know somebody had a butter crust, and that's the person that actually won the traditional. So
that's funny.
Butter crust,
it's up and coming. That's the next Detroit style.
That's awesome. All right. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you guys.
Just knock it out of the park this weekend.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you. Thank you.
All right.
See you later.
Care.
All right.
Bye-bye.